9th Standard Social Science Summative Assessment 1 Kalika Chetarike Model Question Paper with Key Answer. First main Vishakadatta's work was Rajatarangini, Arthashastra, Mudra Rakshasa, Indica. Correct answer option C, Mudra Rakshasa. In 1792, the Bahamas island of West Indies was reached by Marco Polo, Vasco da Gama, Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Columbus. Correct answer option D, Christopher Columbus. A weaving machine called spinning jenny was invented by Richard Arkwright, James Hargreaves, Edmund Cartwright, John Key. Correct answer is option B, James Hargreaves. The 7 Years' War was fought between England and France, England and Japan, Japan and France, England and Germany. Correct answer is option A, England and France. The interim president of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sachidananda Sinha, T.T. Krishnamachari, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Correct answer option B, Sachidananda Sinha. Tertiary sector is also called economic sector, alternative sector, service sector, income sector. Correct answer is option C, service sector. The first stage of colonial system was free trade stage, financial transaction or tax collection authority, business stage, political authority. Correct answer is option C, business stage. The right called as the heart and soul of the Constitution by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Correct answer option D, right to constitutional remedies. Second main, answer the following questions in a sentence each. What are the archaeological sources? Archaeological sources are excavations, inscriptions, coins, and monuments. What is a century? A century means 100 years. What is industrial revolution? The process of mass production using the power of machines instead of manpower is called industrial revolution. What is globalization? Globalization means trading the goods of one country in any part of the world. Who was the architect of the unification of Germany? The architect of the unification of Germany was Otto von Bismarck. The preamble of our Constitution has been described as the jewel of the Constitution vibe. The preamble of our Constitution contains the outline, value, doctrine, and objectives of the Constitution. It is the lamp of the Constitution. What is colonialism? The process of gaining complete political power primarily by understanding the internal and external circumstances of other countries with the purpose of business gain is called colonialism. How can we apply wider knowledge of geography? If we understand the small streams, hills, mountains, flora and fauna, available natural resources, climate, population, life, environment, footprint, etc. of our village, we can apply that into wider knowledge of geography. Third main, answer the following questions in 4 sentences each. Explain the role of Ottoman Bismarck in the unification of Germany. The architect of the unification of Germany was Ottoman Bismarck. He was the chief minister of William I, King of Prussia. Bismarck was aware that blood and iron policy was the only way to resolve the situation. Blood and iron policy meant war tactics. So he built a powerful army. His aim was to drive out Austria from German States Association. Bismarck realized that war was inevitable with France to achieve unification of Germany. He began war preparation. When Napoleon declared war on Prussia, southern German states defeated him. Due to this, he was able to merge the remaining states with the German States Association. With this, the unification of Germany was complete. What were the literary works created during the Renaissance? Boccaccio's Decameron, Dante's Divine Comedy, Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, Cervantes' Don Quixote, Thomas More's Utopia, plays of Shakespeare. What are the purposes of colonialization? Gaining profit, right to collect tax, political power. Or what are the effects of industrial revolution? Economy of England improved and it became the strongest nation. Increase in heavy industries. The increase in the exploitation of workers led to the rise of socialism. The social and economic life of the people of England was better. Transport system developed. Because of increase in population, poverty, unemployment, food problems arose. Class conflict increased when the gap between the poor and the rich widened. What are the major foreign companies dealing in India? WhatsApp, Facebook, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Google, Amazon, eBay, Cadbury and Lays companies. Or what were the effects of the American Revolution? The war acted as an inspiration for the French Revolution. Many of the French who fought assisting the colonial became leaders of the French Revolution. Many of the Spanish and Portuguese colonies in America were inspired to become independent. The new nation called the United States of America was born. What are the challenges which India had to face after independence? The refugee problem, the merge of princely state issue, problem of formation of constitution. Write the meaning of primary, secondary and tertiary sector. The works being done by getting direct benefit from nature is called primary sector. As human beings became civilized, their desires also increased. By refining the things got by nature and by processing them, they made many more useful things, and this stage is considered as secondary sector. As the desires of human beings increased, third division was emerged. Since it provides services, they are called tertiary sector. Monuments are important source in the formation of history. How? A structure, pillars, stupas, basadis, temples and forts erected to commemorate a notable person or an event, This helped to understand the civilization, technology, and socio-economic conditions of the time. Example: Ashoka's pillars, stupas, basadis, chaityas, thousands of temples. How the Constitution of India framed. It took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days for the formation of Constitution. Our Constitution was derived from the elements of the British Government Act 1909, 1919, 1935, and also incorporated the constitutional features of Britain, France, Ireland, Japan, America, Africa, Germany, Australia, Canada. It was ratified on 26 November 1949. It came into force on January 26, 1950. So that day is celebrated as Republic Day. Fourth main, answer the following questions in 6 sentences each. Explain the importance of inscriptions. Inscriptions are documents written by kings, nobles, vassals, and others for public information using any language and script on stone slabs or metal bars. Example: Ashoka's Maski, Brahmagiri, Sannati inscription, Kadamba's Talagunda, Halmidi inscriptions, etc. The historians get information about the royal family, genealogy, period, titles, their language, donations made by them, etc. from these inscriptions. 26. Write the events in chronological order. The year you were born, the year of Indian independence, the year you were admitted to school, the first war of Indian independence. Correct answer: the first war of Indian independence, the year of Indian independence, the year you were born, the year you were admitted to school. Or explain the fall of Constantinople. Constantinople city connected Asia and Europe in land trade route. Ottoman Turks captured it in 1453 Common Era, and they levied heavy taxes on traders to use this route. It became inevitable for European traders to search for a new trade route to India. Since Constantinople city was closed for Europeans, it is called as the fall of Constantinople. Mention the features that might have existed in Europe during the Dark Age and the Modern Age. Cheating in the name of God, questioning attitude, reading rational books, money paid to church for wrongdoing, scientific attitude, seeing people as slaves, thoughts of geographical discovery. Or what were the reasons for geographical exploration? In some European countries, the excessive demand for Indian clothes and spices led to the ruling class seeking a profit. The adventurous sailors there were eager to find new route to India and became successful. The kings of Spain and Portugal, seeking to compete with the Arabs, encouraged the sailors by opening sailor schools and embarking on explorations of different geographical explorations. There was also aspiration of spreading Christianity. Famous traveler Marco Polo visited China and India and explained the wealth of these countries. This gave rise to a desire for the Europeans to go to these countries. Explain the nature of Industrial Revolution. The process of mass production using the power of machines instead of manpower is called Industrial Revolution. With the use of machines, production increased in a very short period. It was the most effective revolution that the world has ever seen. Beginning in England, it started in 18th century and spread to other countries in Europe and affected all around the world. How can poor countries gain profit from globalization? Poor countries can establish new companies with their intellect, knowledge, innovative thinking. Diversity is the power of third world countries. Example, notice that the warlike sketches of tribal people have gained world recognition today and has entered the world market. Our country's cinemas, dishes, dosa, idli, sambar, and colored clothes have gained the attention of the world. We need to think innovatively to become an entrepreneur. By establishing a business, we can become job provider instead of job seeker, and we can gain profit, making our country to walk in the path of progress. What are the reasons for American Revolution? British rules, naval laws, the Stamp Act, the Molasses Act, the Quebec Act, townshend taxes, etc. Influences of writers, writings of Thomas Paine, John Adams, Samuel Adams, John Edward Coke, and Benjamin Franklin. The love of freedom of the Americans, the 7 Years' War between England and France, or explain the unification of Germany. After the French Revolution, the concept of sovereignty led to the unification of Germany. Germany emerged in the early 19th century. After the Franco-Prussian War, German princes proclaimed the German state at the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles. Unification united many independent German states, which became the German Empire. Mention any 6 features of the Indian Constitution. Written and lengthy Constitution, partially flexible and partially rigid Constitution, parliamentary form of government, republican system, federal system, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policy, independent and centralized judiciary system, single citizenship, adult franchise, bicameral legislature, party system. The feudalism had a different features. Justify. The land held by the vassals was considered a gift given by the ruler. Feudalism consisted of two important traditions. The first one was investiture. Under this tradition, the Lord gave assurances of justice and protection to the vassal while giving the land. The second one was homage. Under this tradition, the vassal promised loyalty and service to the feudal lord. There were hierarchies among the feudal lords. Important among them were the dukes, earls, barons, knights, etc. The vassals took the help of laborers for agriculture. These laborers were given only sufficient land for their survival as long as they worked with the vassals. They were not given any monetary returns. The rights of the citizens have been protected through the fundamental rights in the Constitution of India. How? Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, or the latitudes and longitudes are imaginary lines. How? The word latitude is derived from the word lat. Lat means width. These latitudes are imaginary lines drawn from east to west. In the same way, longitude, long means length. These longitudes are imaginary lines drawn from north to south. Fifth main, answer the following questions in 8 sentences each. Explain the condition of medieval age Europe. The Western Roman Empire existed from 395 BCE to 476 CE, and the Eastern Roman Empire from 395 BCE to 1453 CE. It was called as Byzantine Empire. 1000 years from the 5th to the 15th century is said to be the medieval period of Europe. In 1453, when the Turks conquered Constantinople, Istanbul, then it is thought that the medieval period ended in Europe. The Roman Empire was under the control of landlords called patricians. They had consolidated all political powers in the name of Senate. The poor of Rome were called plebeian and they were slaves. When the medieval period started in Europe, in Rome, poverty could be seen. They called it the Dark Age in history. Or explain the nature of Renaissance. Renaissance means rebirth or revival. Medieval Italy had its own unique culture. The wealthiest cities were Rome, Venice, and Geneva. There was a conducive atmosphere for the study of Latin literature in these cities. Because of the revolution and invasion in Europe, poets, scientists, painters, humanists, and intellectuals migrated to Italy. All of them were thinking differently, and so Renaissance first began in Italy. Then it spread out to the other parts. The word revival means rebirth or re-awareness. Since Renaissance was first started in Italy, called as the cradle of Renaissance. During this time, a lot of literary talent in Italy, France, England, Germany, and Spain was generated. Petrarch was called as father of Renaissance. What were the effects of sea route exploration? Europeans made direct contact with America, Africa, and Asian countries, and they acquired the local language. Economic condition of Europe changed. Richness of Italy and Germany collapsed, but England and France built a powerful empire. England and France expanded the market in the US and India. They established colonies and gained economic profit. They tried to spread Christianity. The exchange of different cultures took place. It was practically proved that the earth is round in shape. The slave trade came into existence. The main purpose of French Revolution was to end the dictatorial rule of their kings. Justify. The main purpose of French Revolution was to end the dictatorial rule of their kings and establishing a socio-political system based on equality and democracy. This tremendously affected the political movements in various other countries of the world. There were three classes in the French society. The first class consisted of clergy, the second was aristocrats, and the third consisted of the ordinary citizens. The first two classes were in less number, but they enjoyed all kinds of privileges. They were exempted from all forms of taxation and were leading a luxurious life. The third section was deprived of all facilities. Intellectuals, agriculturalists, laborers, and professionals were there in this section. Their income was very less, but the taxes they paid were very high. Their life was in a miserable condition. These people did not have any respectable position in the society. They had no political rights and had to live, tolerate insults. They had no political rights and had to tolerate insults. They did not have either religious or political rights or freedom. They fought against the dictatorial rule and became victorious. The French Revolution unraveled the importance of liberty, equality, and fraternity to the world. How was Italy unified? Italy, the country which had seen the glory of the ancient Roman civilization, even though spoke the same language, had disintegrated into many pieces. Roman Catholic religion had spread throughout Italy. Though it was eligible to become one nation, such an integration was impossible there. Between 1815 Common Era and 1848 Common Era, there were a number of riots in various states of Italy. The main aim of all those riots and revolts was national freedom and national integration. Joseph Mazzini, Count Cavour, and Garibaldi were the architects of Italy's unification. Among them, Garibaldi formed Young Italy, a new secret society, and spread his ideas for the unification. The chief minister of Sardinia, Count Cavour, took a major role in the unification. Being a journalist, Count Cavour wrote and published articles in his newspaper. Risorgimento influenced both the ruling group and the common people simultaneously. Later, being the prime minister, he took Italy towards progress, unifying the empire of Austrian Habsburg, Pope, the Bourbon kings of Spain, and the regions under different rulers. Italy was unified. Sixth main question number 38. Locate the following places on the given world map: United States of America, Italy, Germany, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. A. United States of America. B. Italy. C. Germany. D. Atlantic Ocean. E. Pacific Ocean.